think. Trying to get a few things set up here. I've had problems with trying to get my phone and my iPad talking to one another. I'm here out in the woods in Maine, so sometimes service is not fantastic. Bear with me, please. I'll get the hang of these. This this is only my second live, so at least I have the orientation correct this time. To any of you who watched my first live, the orientation was locked and I didn't know it. So everything came out this way that was filmed for this way. And it took quite a while for me to figure out how we could change that. Okay, it's saying excellent. Oh, yay. Okay. So I'm gonna good. Okay. Wow. This is nerve-wracking. Welcome. And I'll peek back at my iPad every so often. I am Julie. I'm a picker, a thrifter, a buyer, a seller, and currently sell all my wares on in my eBay store, Attic Treasures Flea Market. I also sell some of my bigger things, furniture, things that I cannot sell on eBay because I don't use freight. That's out of my comfort zone. Um, and I sell those items on Facebook Marketplace. A little history. Um, I've been a long time eBay seller, uh, 29 years. If you look on my eBay, it says 27, but when I first started, eBay was really new. I think I started shortly after its inception. And at some point, 2 years later, they did some kind of reconfiguration, and all that history that I had was lost. So I guess you could say eBay has me down as starting as in July 1999. And I guess that would make still for a lot of years. So, um, and then up until April of last year, I had a booth. And for about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years, I had two booths in an antique mall. So I left my booth last April 2025. And now I just do exclusively in my eBay store. At the same time that I got rid of my booth, I decided to join YouTube. So this is a double new journey for me. I haven't really been going, I guess you could say full time on YouTube until just these last several months since the start of the new year. And right up front, anyone who's listening, I do apologize for the noise in the background. I am in my one of my storage garages. I have two storage garages, and we're in garage number one. Um, I have been doing episodes where I go either to garage number one or garage number two. Garage number one is always on Fridays. Garage number two is on Tuesdays. And what I do is I've picked items from my shelves. I show them to you. I talk about them. I sometimes even brag about them. And then get them in my car, clean them up. Sometimes if they need a little fix or any, you know, jiggering, I do that and then I get them into my eBay store. I am a bit behind in some of my listings because I have been trying to figure out how to do these lives. My first live was earlier this week on Tuesday. So this is only my second live. So for anyone who may be watching this, I appreciate your thumbs up. If you are a subscriber, I give you a thumbs up. And if you either watch my videos, are a subscriber, or happen into my eBay store, Attic Treasures Flea Market, and you browse or shop or buy, that's two thumbs up. Two thumbs up. So, what I'd like to do today is, being that we're in garage number one, this garage houses a lot of furniture. And then I've got the walls lined with shelves. And I have a hodgepodge of stuff. I have both of my garages are over full. Uh, there's still piles and stacks. I know where everything is, and I can maneuver amongst everything, but it's certainly not meant for normal travel. I am not really selling out of my garage. I do have some people that are coming by privately. These are people that I know who have come by already, and I've got a couple appointments scheduled for next month, June. So I'll get started and stop talking. I do tend to be long-winded, but first and foremost, actually, um, before we head into this holiday 3-day weekend, I'd like to take a moment to think of why we actually have this holiday. And it's certainly to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. What I did in getting ready for this walkthrough with you is I set up a few little flags throughout my booth. And then I'm a nurse. I work weekends. I'm a part-time, I guess you could say, per diem nurse. I work weekends on occasion, and I'm working this weekend. And I will be seeing some people who, don't celebrate this holiday necessarily how everyone else does. But today, what I'm going to do is we're going to take a walk, a slow walk with my camera and pick apart my shelves. I'm still in the process of decluttering mostly, getting things up and out of here and into my eBay store. I am doing some purging. That means out the door. Some things I've donated, some things are just not worth donating. So that's true purging. I do hate to do that, but some things just don't always have a lot of value. But before we get started, I'm a coffee drinker. I love my coffee. So we're going to have a cup. I'd like you to join me. I don't want to drink alone. What I've got here actually is one of the two cups that I actually have in my eBay store. And it's old stoneware made in Japan. The saucers probably and the dishes and the soup bowls I know came with the marking on the bottom, but there is no marking on the bottom of this. It's old town stoneware made in Japan. It's a nice brown color coffee, right? It's a small cup, It would be too small for me to use on a regular basis. I usually like big cups, mugs, actually. So let's have a cup of coffee together. And I do hope that you will join me. Mm, I love my coffee. Light and sweet, by the way. Um, let's see. What I'll do. I was starting to say that this garage is a hodgepodge of a lot of smalls. Besides the furniture being right down the middle, I do have the two walls that are lined with shelves. And I have it organized for me. I can be a little obsessive compulsive about putting likes with likes, but it's what works for me. You know, I have everything from glassware to ceramics, pottery. I have wood items, I have metal items. And the way I have it set up is, like, say, I have my ceramics together, but they might be separated because, maybe one section is bowls, and the other one section might be vases. I know, I think I have all my metals together, and that's a hodgepodge of everything from pots and pans to brass. And, nowadays, there's been a big deal about um, brass. Everybody's buying and selling brass. So I will probably pick out a few items here that are brass just to make sure that in next Friday's episode, which won't be live, I start pulling all my brass and get that listed. And then I've got plenty of plates, lots of beverage glasses. Oh my goodness. I have old bottles. I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then that is actually what my eBay store really is. And this channel is, I try to show a variety of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Uh, Last week, my episode was on, I added a few things that I didn't put into my eBay. It's actually items, furniture items. And this is the weekend going into Memorial Weekend. I'm here in Maine, in the area down East Maine, where vacationers begin to arrive. They've already started and they open up their cabins or their cottages and they're looking for furniture and things like that. I seem to have, oh, okay. Seem to have lost a little connection there. I'm not going to try to focus on that, but it came back. So I have things that I'll be putting up in Facebook Marketplace. I have almost a dozen mirrors, wall mirrors of all sizes. I even have a full length mirror. Um, I have a curio, and I do have a few bureaus or dressers, chests of drawers, trunks, things like that I need to get worked on. That need to get worked on to get them. I will post on Facebook Marketplace for the furniture items throughout the summer. And last summer I did fantastic. You know, when I ended my booth last year, that process of hauling everything out of my booth made me, I needed to get a third storage unit. And last summer, I did garage sales every Friday and Sunday. And my goal last summer was to whittle back down to two storage garages. My new goal, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be selling great stuff and finding treasures. But my new goal is a 2-year goal, and that is to whittle down my two storage garages to just one. And I don't live here year round. We spend most of the time, most of the year here, my husband and I. But we have a winter place in Texas. I've lived in New England all of my life, and I love it. It's got the biggest part of my heart, especially right here in Maine where I am. But the winters, they're long, they're cold. And I got tired of falling. You know, when you get to be about my age, it hurts. It does. So we spend at least 4 months out of the year down in Texas. So I have an inventory down there. It's not anything compared to what I have up here. And every time I go down in the winter, I load up. My husband gives me one half of the truck. So I don't take very many clothes because my half of the truck is my stuff for sale. So, all right. So what I'm going to do first, besides I already invited you for coffee, is I'm going to take the phone around, lift this up. Got my director's chair. I'm going to pick up this phone and do one side of the garage, the shelves, and then I'll put the phone down and we'll chat. I'm not going to be able to see my iPad over here. So for those of you who may join me after I begin this walk, I will probably see your comments thereafter. So let me pick up this phone. We're going to make our way around. And I'm still a little new with holding these handholds. So hopefully I won't make you too dizzy. Up top here, I have all my wood items. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's a whole bunch of old drawers, some planters, some magazine racks, and just a lot of stuff. A little lighthouse there. And then the back wall, I used to always have wreaths or floral decor in my booth. So I still have quite a lot of that left over. So here in the back on these shelves are my metal items, and they can range from, you know, candle holders to old clock weights, oh, pots and pans, lots of trays, some toll trays, silver plated. And like I had said, I'm going to be seeking out some of my brass items like this door knocker. I've sold a few brass items already in the last several weeks. I think it was a door knocker and something else. I forget now, but I know that I have some, what do you call, copper? No, brass. Yeah, brass bowls, some old brass bowls. And I think I left them home. So I'm going to have to get those out. I also have this, and this does need to be fixed. It's got a few, it's missing a couple of screws, I think. But that's a nice hall tree. So if I get that fixed and cleaned up, get that. I'm not going to sell that on eBay, but I'll get that listed in my eBay store. Vases. Yep, I have vases. And they range from glass to ceramic, pottery. I actually have I have several vases. I think when I started these episodes in the spring, I was trying to get a lot of got all my white milk glass. That was I tried to grab all that, and just some little odds and ends, That's a nice figurine made in Japan. A little swan. We have artisans in the area that do ceramics, and I am always getting those things. This is a one of those stubby stubby vases. Oh, and more ceramics, some terrines. And I'm half ashamed to show you this shelf. This is one of those shelves that needs a lot of work, a lot of candle items. I have some really nice candlesticks in there. You just can't see them. And then wood. There we go. This is what I need. I need a helping hand. There are some days that's what I'm thinking. And then, oh, look at all these bowls. Some old wooden bowls of all sizes. Oh, let's see if I can make a bigger mess. Cutting boards, trays. This is a ceramic one there mixed in with the wood. Some things that just haven't been organized. They're just there, they're just placed. Old canning jars. Oh, all the cruets. Oh, I save jars. You'd be surprised what I've done with those jars. And then, of course, a lot of cream and sugars. This is a nice handcrafted flower frog. And then I'll just give you a backup here. This just some of the furniture and mirrors that will be going up on Facebook Marketplace. I got a lot of my terracotta to list in my eBay, and I had gotten this dresser. This is a nice Art Deco dresser. I actually have the original. I have the knobs for this. Um, as you can see, I've got stuff in there. But I have got to get that cleaned up, get those knobs on. I it needs work, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that this summer. So maybe I should pass it on to somebody who might want to work on that. So I'm going to bring you back around and put that camera down and get back into view. Maybe grab a sip of my coffee. So that was one side. And in a few minutes, I will go ahead and walk with you on this side. But before I do that, let's see, I wanted to just I always write notes, you know. uh be it would be really nice for those who might be watching. ah, Thumbs up. And for those who will watch this on replay, I would love to know a few things from you. Put them in the comments. Um, like, what are you looking for? Are you going out looking for antiques or vintage items? And if so, what are you looking for? Or what is it? What's been a favorite find of yours? It's always interesting. Everybody has different interest. And as a reseller, like I said, I have a little bit of everything. It's a hodgepodge. I don't really focus on any one thing. I know a lot of resellers do. And yes, I mean, I have some strong passions, but I just have a hodgepodge. And a lot of it may be because I do a lot of picking. I do go to my best finds have always been most of the time garage sales, estate sales if they're held by a estate company that doesn't. I don't know that lately, at least in the last year or so, they just are asking. They're pricing their items just way too high, and maybe if you're buying it for your home, that's one thing. But as a reseller, I can't buy certain items and then at that price and consider selling them. I try to keep my prices on the low side, especially since last year. I tend to price to sell, plain and simple. I go into my eBay about every 10 days. You know, that we have, you can go into your own eBay store and I look at prices and I give them a cut. And the thing is that my goal has been, at least for at least a couple of years, but more so recently, is I would like things when I get them listed. I I aim to sell them in 30 to 60 days. Sometimes they sell right away. Sometimes they don't. And after 60 days, I take a good look at that listing. And, it's like, okay, maybe it needs updated pictures. Maybe I'm price pointing it wrong. Although I do my research before I get things listed up on eBay. There are times that I do know that I might overprice or in someone's mind, not necessarily mine. I They might think that I've overpriced it. But it's hard. It's not like sometimes you get items that you don't have something to compare it to. It's like one of a kind. It's unique. It's old. It's truly vintage or antique. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think any of us resellers really know exactly how to price some items. So we do our best. And I think I fall into that category. I do my best. But yeah, that's my goal is to try to get things sold in my eBay store, within that definitely under 60 days. Um, and that's, take that into consideration when I'm out buying. I don't want to buy some items at that kind of price because I can't. I don't believe I can sell them and make a good profit in my eBay store. Um, I am guilty of, I think there was a time when I used to be one of the first people at a estate sale or a garage sale. Um, I am guilty in the last at least 2 years or so, maybe more. I've I've actually been the one that shows up, the shopper that shows up the very last day and the very last hours. Um, because people say but you don't get the good items. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Um, Again, I'm not trying to find things for my own home. I'm trying to find things for resale. And I have filled up my car, my SUV. Sometimes I've even gotten a trailer, as like a pull along. I have filled that up with items that people just want gone. They want them gone. I offer them a fair price. They even sometimes throw in free stuff. And I always say, oh, if it's free, it's for me. And again, that allows me to be able to give you guys who might be wanting to buy a good price point. something that you maybe have considered buying, but the price was always too high. So I that's what I do. That's what I do. So let's see. Let's start a stroll on the other side and see what goodies I do have. This is that curio that I was showing last Friday. It's beautiful. It's a lighted 5 shelf curio that has the curved glass. Oh, we'll start with the top shelf here. Oh, holiday items. And actually, I don't even have very many of my holiday items in this garage. They are actually at home. And that's going to be my upcoming project is to declutter those boxes, probably do some purging because some of those items may not be worth saving or selling. And if they are, then maybe I'll consider donating them. Yep. Just an example of how you can see I am a nurse and I do collect things that are medical related. We'll come down a shelf. I've got some wine carafes, some pitchers, cups, mugs, teacups. Going back to mugs, I never used to buy mugs, but it seems to be one of those things that is trending. People are buying unusual mugs. So I do have a few mugs in my eBay store, lots of teacups lately. Then we have our specialty glassware, whether it's shot glasses or pilsners. Just wanted to show you that in particular. These came from the Christmas tree shop back when it was the Christmas tree shop, Middletown, Rhode Island. Actually, I that's where I used to shop a lot. I did live in Rhode Island for quite a bit. We've got some really nice beverage glasses, barware, dessert cups, snack trays. That's all my faux flowerage. Yep, I even have things for the kids. Wood blocks, quiche dishes, restaurant ware. We'll go back to beverage glasses here. And then a lot of EAPG or clear glass. And that's one of those things that you either love or hate. I love clear glass. I really do. That's a nice plate. Pink depression glass. And looking at those fish plates reminds me come mid month, I'm going to get out all my nautical or fish or lobster related items and get those. I think I'll probably devote one episode to just those kind of items. Then I have plate sets. This one, Franconia. Here's a good one, just in time for summer. That's dusty. Remember, we're in my garage, so things do tend to get dusty. That set is a vintage Arca Rock, black glass seashells. It's got the serving platter, dinner plate, dessert or salad plate, little side, and the bowls. Again, I apologize for the dustiness, but that is another item, by the way, that came from the Christmas tree shop back in Middletown, Rhode Island. We've got some Royal Mail, Staffordshire, made in England. This is a complete set. And these are odds and ends, plates, at least two. I think I had already gone through and purged or donated some of the singles that I had. And I think I mentioned mid month next month, I'm going to be going through and pulling all my lobster related items. That's a big ceramic bucket there. Or anything nautical related, a little decor like that. Oops. And then down below, these are boxes that I have not been in for quite a while. So that'll be one of my projects this summer. They're all labeled, they're all bottles. And if I hadn't started this episode so late today, I was going to actually open up this one. That's full of small medicine bottles. And I have the ink bottles, ointment bottles. So I'll bring you back around, place you up top here, and get back into view. So there we go. So, well, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna end this episode. I still need a lot of practice with doing these lives. I love doing these episodes. On Tuesdays, I'm in my garage number 2. And on Fridays, I'm in garage number 1. I do plan on continuing the live series once a month, both garages. So it'll actually be 2 episodes a month. One live will be here in this garage on Friday, and then live. And then on Tuesday in my other garage live. And that'll be in about 4 weeks. I'll give you a notification. I do ask that if you aren't currently subscribed, if you are interested in what I have to offer or you would like to watch my episodes, I encourage you to subscribe. This is a good time too. If you haven't put up the thumbs up, that would be great. And again, I would love, leave me a comment on what you might be finding or looking for in your search for some vintage or antiques, or let me know maybe what one of your favorite finds was ever. I'll tell you what mine was. This was years ago, and I'll end up making an episode with the pictures of it. I was picking at a local dump, and somebody had left a somebody had constructed a dollhouse. It was beautiful. It even had I think it had a mansard roof. I mean, it was just beautiful. I couldn't believe that somebody had left this at the dump, and it was in the wood pile. So, the next step was demolition. So I scooped that up And as much as I've wanted to keep that for myself, I said, no, there's got to be a little girl out there or little girls that would just be tickled pink to see and play with it. So I put up on Facebook Marketplace free. Come now, pick it up. And I had a response within, I think, maybe an hour or two. And sure enough, a grandmother came whose grandkids were visiting in Stonington, Maine. And she had that dollhouse and then she got it. I gave it to her. That was free. It was free for me. It was free for her. She took that home and she took pictures of her grandkids playing with that later that afternoon. And that made my day. So I say that is probably one of my most fun, precious picks. And it was just nice to see some little girls just loving it. So I lived vicariously through them that day. So anyway, I'm going to end this. I appreciate you watching me, and I will see you again, hopefully, live later next month in June, but on my weekly episodes that are pre recorded on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'll see you after this holiday weekend on Tuesday. And until then, have a great day. Have a great weekend and be with those that you love and think of those who you love.